almost show. All the top tunes.
Hey, Mulligan.
What do you do? I don't know. Getting just what they get in the big house.
It's the Joey and Rory Show. This week's special guest, COLM KIRWAN. This week's episode brought to you by Roper Apparel. Wear the West. And now, the year he joined the Marines, she started second grade. Here they are, Joey and Rory.
Got her daddy's eyes in her mama's hair. That newborn baby lying there. A grandpa holds his first grandchild. That's a crying smile. In another town there's a long white dress. Little church crammed full of Sunday best. Bride's father walks her down the aisle. Yeah, that's a crying smile. It's a goodbye kiss, first day of school. A doctor calling with the good news. A sinner standing in a pew, getting born for the second time. It's snapshots laid out on the floor, or a loved one back home from the war. Makes tears fall like rain from a sunny sky. That's a crying smile. 40 years he punched that clock for a pat on the back and a gold watch. They called it going out in style. Now that's a crying smile. It's a goodbye kiss, first day of school. A doctor calling with the good news. A sinner standing in a pew, getting born for the second time. It's snapshots laid out on the floor, or a loved one back home from the war. Makes tears fall like rain from a sunny sky. That's a crying smile. Nursing home has an empty bed. 4 generations bow their heads. God welcomes home another child. Ain't that a crying smile?
Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You'll be alright.
His and Hers, the brand new album from ACM winners Joey and Rory.
When I'm gone.
Order yours now at joeyandrory.com.
Our first trip to Ireland a couple years ago, we were playing some shows. We met
A great family, and one of their sons moved to America to be a singer and a songwriter.
He's become a close friend of ours, and we're big fans of his music. Our guest artist today is COLM KIRWAN.
Hi, my name is COLM KIRWAN. I'm from a town in the north of Ireland called Omagh in County Tyrone. And I moved to Nashville in 2009, January of 2009, so I've been living there ever since. At that time I was on the road with my father back in Ireland and the UK. My father's a singer and I was touring with him. But at that time I started really getting interested in songwriting, and I had an opportunity to go to Nashville through a friend, and it just seemed like the perfect place to try to better myself as a writer And then when I got there, I really realized that it was exactly that. The Irish people are I think a very friendly, laid-back nation, and the one thing that I found about Nashville was it was the exact same. It was just a very friendly, laid-back city, and it just suited my character and my own personality. Country music in Ireland is definitely a massive genre. That's what I grew up listening to. My father had a collection of all the Jones and Haggards, and that's what I listened to, so yeah, it's definitely big. Once a week I play a gig in an Irish pub in Nashville called McNamara's, so it's great. It's a great place to make me feel like a little closer to home and get out there and sing some Irish songs. So I got a brand new album coming out, which I'm super excited about. I'm going to do a song from there for y'all. It was produced by Victoria Shaw, and we had a great time in the studio cutting it, and it's just turned out even better than I ever expected.
May the angels protect you, trouble neglect you, heaven accept you when it's time to go home. May you always have plenty, your glass never empty, and know in your belly you're never alone. May your tears come from laughing, you find friends worth having, with every year passing they're worth more than gold. May you win, but stay humble. Smile more than grumble. Know when you stumble, you're never alone. You're never alone. You're never alone. I'll be in every beat of your heart when you face the unknown. Wherever you fly, this isn't goodbye. 'Cause my love will follow you, stay with you, baby, you're never alone. Will I have to be honest? As much as I want it, I'm not gonna promise the cold winds won't blow. So when hard times have found you and your fears surround you, wrap my love around you and you're never alone. You're never alone. You're never alone. I'll be in every beat of your heart when you face the unknown. Wherever you fly, this isn't goodbye. 'Cause my love will follow you, stay with you, baby, you're never alone. So may the angels protect you, trouble neglect you, heaven accept you when it's time to go home. May you always have plenty, your glass never empty, and know in your belly you're never alone. Never alone. You're never alone. I'll be in every beat of your heart when you face the unknown. Wherever you fly, this isn't goodbye. 'Cause my love will follow you, stay with you, baby, you're never alone. Yes, my love will follow you, stay with you, baby, you're never
Let's head down to Marcy Jo's and see what my pretty wife and sister are cooking today.
Y'all come on in, stay wherever you want.
Well, over the last few years, Rory and I have eaten out a lot of different places and had a lot of nice breakfasts. But we're always amazed sometimes when we go to a place and order their sausage gravy that it doesn't taste quite like the sausage gravy here at Marcy Jo's.
Right.
So we're gonna give you a demonstration on how we make our sausage gravy and how we feel like it's really the perfect combination of meat and milk, flour, and everything else. Consistency. And I think what's surprising, though, is it's so simple to make this.
It's really simple.
And that restaurants don't just go ahead and follow through with it being totally from scratch. So,
and it's wonderful. We have so many compliments on our gravy. People love our gravy.
Well, what we're gonna do, we're just gonna take a normal roll of your sausage that you like. Some people have their own brands that they like.
Right.
But we're gonna go ahead and open that up. Go ahead and brown that really good. Make sure you get all the pink out of it, of course. And one thing that we like to do is make sure you don't drain your grease.
Exactly, You don't want to...
Uncle Leo, come over here. What are you doing?
I just drove all the way from Michigan, and I heard a cute story.
Come in here. I got to see you.
Tell somebody before I forget it. You want to hear it?
Okay. Yes,
don't make any difference. You're going to hear it anyhow. This fellow walked in to a barber shop one day, and he said, "Barber, can you give me a special haircut?" And the barber said, "What do you mean a special haircut?" Well, he said, "I'd like this sideburn down below my ear, and I'd like this one up above my ear, and I'd like a tuft of hair hanging down to my eyes, and a big V cut in the back." And the barber said, "I can't do that." The guy said, "I don't know why not. You did the last time I was in here."
I love it.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing that. It's always so good to see him.
I love him. He's
Golly.
so great.
Back to the gravy.
Okay, so you don't want to drain your grease. You definitely don't, because the grease is what makes the gravy. It really does.
So once that gets nice and brown, you're gonna add about a cup of flour.
Yeah, that's what I do, about a cup of flour. And you want to make sure that you get that in there really good. And
sift it.
Yeah, sift it, Yeah, you definitely want to sift it in there.
That way you don't have any lumps or anything. And that's another reason you put your flour in before you put your milk in.
Right.
That way it absorbs all that grease. You have a nice base. And then once that flour sits there for a couple minutes, you can go ahead and pour your milk in. And you're gonna add about, I don't know, 4 cups or so.
Yep.
So we're gonna add our milk. And then you're gonna let that set. You can turn your heat up a little bit.
Right.
And let that simmer down nice and
it's gonna take a while. You know, you wanna just keep stirring it, and it's gonna take a while before it thickens up, but it will. Because at first you're gonna say, "Oh my gosh, I poured too much," but really you didn't. It's just, it takes a while to thicken up. And then once it gets really thick, and it gets too thick for you, all you gotta do is just add a little bit more milk, and it's wonderful.
It's good to do less milk and always add more than to have too much milk in there. And then you have to add more flour. So. And once it gets to a nice thickness like this one
then you're gonna have it just like this. This is what it's gonna look like, and it's just wonderful.
I saw Thomas, he was out there hanging our fans. You know, having some fans. Our handyman Thomas was there. So he was hanging some fans. He loves our sausage.
Oh, he does, he does. Well,
let's go ahead and make him up some.
You guys were making my favorite.
We are making your favorite.
All right.
Have you worked up an appetite?
Well, you know I have.
I know, I love it.
I worked hard when you guys are home.
Aww. We love Thomas because he will eat. He'll work for food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does.
Sure do. There you go. Give her a try. And I don't even like to hardly even salt and pepper my sausage gravy, do you?
You really don't have to. That sausage has got a lot of flavor in it.
That's good stuff.
You like
I'll
it?
get this here.
Awesome.
Some people need to make
good. Thanks, Thomas.
Thanks, girl.
You're welcome. Well, there you have it, folks. Our sausage gravy here at Marcy Jo's, where we're changing lives
one bite at a time.
Went over to Perry Watt's farm one day. I was gonna borrow some post hole diggers from him, and him and his cousin was up on the ladder cutting 2 notches in the top of the barn door. I said, "What are y'all doing?" He said, "Well, we got this old tall mule, and every time we bring him in the barn, his ears rake across the top of the barn door. So we cutting him some notches up there where it won't happen like that." I said, "Well, y'all are about stupid." I said, "Why don't you just dig out from under the door a little bit?" So old Perry said, "He thinks we're stupid. It's his ears that's too long, not his legs." Think about it.
You go from rags to riches, farm to fame, from digging ditches to the whole world knows your name. You'll stand in the spotlight till the light goes dim, and it's rags to riches, to rags again.
Earlier this spring, Rory and I were asked to come to Scotland and Ireland to play a couple of shows. We had been one time before, and we were excited to be going back. Well, our flight over to Scotland was nice. We got on this really big plane, and we passed all these really nice seats. They were big,
First class.
long, reclined, and we need to rethink that next
We
time.
need to make more money because they were like this. This is how they slept. I mean, this is their ride, and our ride was like this the whole time. It's not fair. Rich people got it good.
The food was pretty good.
I want to
though.
be richer.
Okay.
Just for that part.
We landed in Edinburgh and a bus picked us up, and we had about an 8-hour drive to the very northern tip of Scotland to a place called Caithness.
The drive was just beautiful. The Scottish countryside was so green, and we loved seeing the rock walls everywhere and the stone houses that had been there for centuries and centuries. And it turned out, in Scotland, it was lambing season, so there were baby lambs everywhere.
We stayed in the beautiful old town of Thurso, and the first thing we did was Rory and I took some time and walked around and explored. Finding new little cafes and restaurants in faraway places is one of our favorite things to do, and this one served some traditional Scottish food: blood pudding and haggis.
Now Joey thought it was pretty good, but Heidi and I and our fiddle player Justin, we thought it was yucky.
Honey, quit. We're always surprised to find that even as far away as Scotland, people seem to know who we are and like our music. What a thrill to meet someone 1,000 miles from our farm that our music has found its way to. This fellow's name was John, and he was a sweetie.
The event we played was called the Caithness Country Music Festival, but it reminded us of a big Texas honky-tonk. People were dancing and having a great time. I think there was about 1,000 people there, and one of our heroes from back home, Mo Bandy, played that night too. So it was sure great to see him.
Looking forward to seeing you guys.
Another long drive back down to the other end of Scotland. Wait, let's don't forget about the castle we stopped and looked at. Wow, it was the first real castle I'd ever seen. They even had a girl playing the bagpipes at the entrance. How neat was that? We stopped in and watched our friend Dominic Kirwan show and air, and he surprised us and had us get up on stage and sing a couple of our songs. That was a lot of fun.
That's important to me.
The first thing the next morning, we caught a ferry that took us over to Ireland, and we were so tired, pretty much delirious, especially my wife. So we're on a ferry to Ireland from Scotland, and we got kind of sleepy. And they had a special on cabins, and we got one. And there's only this much room. And so we're all sharing one big bed. Hi, everybody.
What is your problem?
I have no idea.
Being on that boat as it was pulling into Ireland was quite a sight to see. My family, on my mother's side, who are all Carnahans, are all Irish, so this is the motherland for me. We only had about 24 hours to spend there, but we sure made the most of it.
A quick radio interview with their local station, some more exploring, a fun show with our friend COLM, and we were headed to the airport in Dublin for the flight home. We feel so blessed to get to travel the world and see places we've never dreamed we'd ever get to go. But our favorite part is that we get to do it hand in hand, together. Okay.
From the top and just do it. See what we're sounding like here.
Alrighty.
I think what made Granddaddy great is that he didn't work all day. I'd love the time we spent, but I'd go everywhere he went. We end up on some old deer trail, and I listened hard as he would spin his tales. We were in a field of stumps. He said, I got a new one for you, hon. These trees once stood tall, and I'm the man that made them fall. I cut them up, I sanded them down, and you wouldn't believe what I found. Past the bark and all the scars, our home was in the heart of those old trees. God bless who sowed those seeds 100 years and they just grew, and only heaven knew just what they'd mean to our family. All that time to become what they should. You know our home was in the heart of the wood. He smiled, said, there's my favorite one, pointed at a cherry stump. He said I couldn't afford the one at Sears, so the good Lord planted one right here. He carved out what he saw within, and he gave it to my dad when he turned 10. And past the bark and all the scars, there was a guitar in the heart of that old tree. All from just one seed, 100 years and it just grew, and only heaven knew just what it'd be, and how that tree could sing all that time to become what it should. There were songs in the heart of the wood. He said we can mark a tree to keep from getting lost, and it'll always point our way home like that old rugged cross. 100 years and it just grew, and only heaven knew just what it'd be, and who'd hang on that tree. It held the Son of God like it should, but I know it broke the heart of the wood. I think what made Granddaddy great is that he didn't work all day. I'd love the time we spent, and I'd go everywhere that old man went.
Guys?
Yes?
I think you did it in one time.
Well, we like to end the show every time with a little piece of our favorite song.
Opening the windows and letting in air, holding hands when we're saying a prayer. That's important to me. That's important to me.
Don't forget about what's most important in your life.
I'm Joey.
And I'm Rory. Tune in again next week, same time, same place.
else?
Media.